I live in an inherited house I cannot afford. What a doozy. A lot of emotion tied up in this one. We can already sense it. Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Dom. Howdy. First off, love the show. You guys have a way. First of all, if you're gonna start off, love greasing the wheels a little bit. Makes us feel pretty good. Love that. First off, love the show. You guys have a way of making heavy stuff feel lighter. And honestly, that's what convinced me to finally write in. Love that. I'm hoping you can help me right now because I feel stuck in this weird limbo between honoring my family, trying to survive, and not totally losing my mind. Here's the story. About 3 years ago, my grandmother passed away. She was the kind of woman who could light up an entire room just by walking in. She was my rock, the one who always made sure there was a place for me. When she passed, she left the house to my mom. I lived there too, and even though it wasn't legally mine, it always felt like home. My mom and I split the bills. We weren't rich, but we made it work. Then, not even a year later, my mom passed away too.
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry.
That's brutal. It was sudden, and I barely had time to process losing my grandmother before my mom was gone too. I was 27, and suddenly I was all alone in this house, with no family nearby and no real game plan. I kept the lights on, barely. I've been working 2 jobs ever since. A full-time gig that pays about $36,000 before taxes, and a part-time side hustle when I can squeeze it in. My mortgage is about $1,100 a month and climbing, thanks to taxes and insurance, plus another $1,000 or more in utilities, maintenance, and all the other little fires that pop up when you're responsible for an entire house. Some months, I barely have enough left over for groceries and gas to get to work. Forget about saving. Forget about breathing room. Every day feels like a battle, just to not fall behind. And here's the kicker. The house isn't even officially mine. My grandma willed it to my mother. But even though it's still tied up in probate. Wow, what an interesting. So the house that the grandmother willed to the mother is in probate and the mother passes away.
No, I think maybe that's what it means. Or the mom received it, and then after she passed, I don't know, maybe this person has a brother or something like that, but now it's in probate.
Okay.
Who knows?
Who knows? Kind of a guess. And this is why we love as much detail as you guys can fit in it. But this one's doing pretty well so far. Everything's tied up in probate. I can't afford a lawyer. I've tried to DIY the paperwork, but the system is very complicated and it's brutal when you're already stretched thin. Yeah, very true. To be honest, I'm scared. I want to sell the house because I know deep down that I'm barely holding it together, but then again, this voice in the back of my head screams, what if I never afford another house again? This market is already crazy. Prices are completely nuts. I already feel behind in life. That's something I want to touch on for sure. So I'm going to highlight that in my notes, but I already feel behind in life. Like I'm paddling upstream in a river that's only getting faster. Selling feels like giving up on some kind of stability I might not ever go back to. To make it more complicated, I have a girlfriend. Oh, that's nice. She's amazing. Bonus. But she lives about an hour and a half away. She just landed this huge promotion in her city. Something she's worked her butt off for. So it's not like I can just crash on her couch or uproot her life to save mine. I'm exhausted mentally, physically, and I feel like every day I'm taking on water and eventually I'm going to sink if I don't figure something out. I don't even know what I'm asking for. Maybe just perspective. Maybe a game plan. Maybe just someone to tell me that it's okay to let go or to not feel like I'm failing everyone who came before me. Thank you for listening. From drowning in this inherited house's debt, but not dead yet. How about that? Well, first off, and I know Chris and I feel the same about this, we're so sorry for both of your losses. That's so major. That's so sudden. And that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. So first off, what I want to say is just like major respect to you, man. It sounds to me like you're grinding hard, and you said like you're not holding it together, but it sounds to me like you're holding it together under an insane amount of pressure. I don't know if I could make it through something like this. Like with my anxiety, man, I'd be on the floor. So it sounds like what you're doing is the right thing. Dominic, I know there was something that you wanted to talk about, and I think it was the I already feel like I'm behind in life thing.
Definitely. That comment alone kind of breaks my heart a little bit, just because I hear it so often from so many people, young and old, and it comes from comparing your life to other people when other people, well, they're living different lives. Can't compare yourself to others. They don't have the same rules, the same cards you were dealt. I know it's like sometimes you feel it's like, well, I should be 27, married, have a house, and first kid's on the way already, and a good paying job with a pension. It's like, well, guys, life is tumultuous. Life is busy. Life is chaotic. Life is stressful. It's a lot of things. And I think it would be so boring to build out a life exactly, to have a life exactly how you planned it. Where's the fun in that? Where's the adventure in that? Where's your life is already structured based on society's rules and laws and, all that stuff. And that's not really life. You're just kind of going through the motion. I'm going to pass it back to you, Chris.
Yeah. First, I'm going to say you're not behind. You're 27 years old and you're going through it. You're not behind at all. When it comes to the probate thing, when it comes to everything you're at, it sounds to me like right now that probate thing is your number one priority. And it sucks. Probate sucks. Like that's the reason that we recommend as financial advisors getting a trust, getting the estate planning done. You don't do estate planning for yourself. You do estate planning for your loved ones so that they don't have to be where you are right now. It's not your mom's fault. She lost her mom, inherited the house. I'm sure she was going to get to it, but things just happened too fast. And I'm sorry that is. So without clear ownership, it almost sounds to me like you're kind of trapped. So if I was you, I would explore low-cost legal aid options or even court self-help centers. And I know it sucks because you're busy. You have all these things, but I don't even know if you have the ability. I do know you don't have the ability to sell the house that you're currently in because you don't own the house. Now, you could leave the house, you could do all that stuff, but you're no longer going to have any deed to it. And who knows how long probate could be. I don't know at what point your mom passed away. Typically, at least here in Arizona, probate's 6 months to a year and a half till that comes over. And I don't even know if the house was in your mom's name, if it was still in your grandma's name. I don't know all that information. So it could take a long time. But I want to make this pretty abundantly clear. Right now, you're house rich and you're cash poor. And I think it's okay to recognize that, yes, this house may be a quote unquote asset, but right now it is currently a burden. And that burden is dragging you down more and more. Now, I know you said that the house payment's only like $1,100. So you will have to look and see what would $1,100 be able to purchase you for like rent somewhere else. Because $1,100 for an entire house and a mortgage is very low. But you also said there's another $1,000 in terms of upkeep and all these other things, which I have to assume that if it was your grandma's house, it was probably an older house, so it's probably got a lot more issues. So unfortunately, I really can't offer you that solution because I don't know what part of the country and I don't know any of that stuff. What I do want to say is selling does not mean that you're a failure. If you do get the house and you have the ability to sell, it could actually unlock your future. It can give you cash, peace of mind, and new options to be able to explore on your own. I know exactly how you feel. And I'm sure many of our audience members do, in that you finally have a house, you have a house in quotes that will be yours soon, and you don't want to let that go. You've attached to it. You feel like I can't let this go. This has been my house for family for generations, all of this stuff. And when will I ever be able to do it for my own, for myself? And that's the place that a lot of people are in. But I promise you, things always change. The only constant in life is change. Right now, the housing market's a shit show. The economy's a shit show. There's a lot of things that are just a shit show. And eventually things will change and you will be able to purchase a house. But right now, that house that you're in is drowning you. It's adding to all of the frustration, all of the fear, all of everything. You can rent for stability now and buy later when you're financially stronger. That does not mean you're a failure. That just means that you were patient, that you waited. You need to put on your own financial oxygen mask on at the moment, man, because it sounds like you're trying to balance everything. You need to stabilize you first before worrying about preserving your houses and your family's legacy. Because right now it sounds like you're working 2 jobs. You have a girlfriend that's an hour and a half away. You're trying to do all this stuff in order to make yourself happy and to live up to your mom and your grandmother, who, again, I'm sorry, but they're no longer here. You need to take care of yourself. You need to start running the real numbers. When you do get the house and you did sell, how much money would you take away versus how much money would you be paying in the mortgage, the monthly stress? What does relief actually look like for you if that was to go away? Those are things that you need to answer for yourself. And I think the biggest thing is you need to kind of do a reality check and don't anchor your decision around what's best for the family, what's best for the girlfriend. You need to build a solid foundation as to where you are right now financially. And right now you're so focused, so myopically focused on just surviving to the next day that you're not taking that 10,000 foot view. You're not able to see where you are because you're so focused on just keeping the house, just keep the house. And I think the house isn't about a house anymore. It's about holding on to your mom. It's about holding on to your grandma. And again, I'm so sorry that they're gone, but they were not that house. They live on in you. The house is just a house. It's just 4 walls. It's wood. It's brick. It's whatever it is. But the house is not them. And if the house is destroying you to stay in it, then it might not be right to stay in. Again, you have to make all those financial decisions. You have to look and see what would rent cost in other places. What would all these other things cost? But right now, it sounds like the house is drowning you. At the end of this, I just wanted to say that you're already doing the hardest part by facing it. But now it's about making strategic moves and getting out of survival mode. Because right now you're in survival mode. And you need to be able to start to make moves from a 10,000 foot view that's going to get you to the place that you want to go. Because right now you're hoping that I can give you something, and I wish I could. This is going to take time. The biggest thing is just please explore all your options when it comes to the probate thing. And if you do sell the house, which may be a good decision, may be the worst decision. I don't know. I don't know all the circumstances around there. But you're going to figure it out. And no matter what decision you make, move forward with your head held high and don't look back. Because you made the right decision for yourself at the time, and that was all that you could do. Don't resent the past. Move forward. Dominic, you got anything else?
No, I have nothing else. I have nothing else. I would also say make sure, and I know this sounds impossible, but make sure you just take at least 5 minutes for yourself just to breathe every day. Just sit down in a comfy chair and just take a deep exhale. Don't forget to recharge. And never give up, man. Never give up.
Yeah,
the more you go down
from
the
Arizona,
path,
dude.
Yeah, for sure. Big hugs from Arizona. And the more you go down the path, the more the path gets understood. And hopefully the path gets clearer soon.
Yeah, and only on that path, you can only see the way by looking back.
Yeah.
When you look back, you're like, oh, it's so clear the reason I had to go through all those things. It got me to this place. But when you're in it, it's like you're in a dark forest.
Yeah. And, use everything. Just use everything. And what I mean by that is like, if you were trying to create a character in a video game, right? You would want him to be the strongest, smartest, the wisest, the most emotionally stable. But how do you create that in the real world? You're going to have to go through things that are very difficult. You're going to have to walk a path alone sometimes. You're going to have to feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, crushing you sometimes. But make sure it doesn't crush you. Make sure that it makes you stronger than ever. Make this the reason your story is so grand that when you look back on it 15 years from now and be like, look, this could have crushed me, but I didn't let it. Use everything you can to benefit yourself in the best ways possible. And like Chris said, big hugs from Arizona. You got this. You know you got this. Just believe it.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.